As a child, well before trekking on my own, I obsessed over the stories of ancient Greece. The adventures, the rise and fall of gods, the poems of Homer. An imagination blooming with the tales of flawed deities struggling for power above a realm of mortals. It was an appreciation for the mythological, understanding that exploration of myself in life had roots in tales like the Odyssey. I dreamt of the day I too could sail the deep blue waters of the Greek islands, wind gusting vigorously, Poseidon looking over my journey. This is my third time in Greece. My 8th island, the first one in the furthest archipelago from the mainland, the Dodecanese. Simply put, I love this country. In my heart, it is probably my second home. This is why I can stomach a 12-hour overnight ferry from Athens to the largest Dodecanese island, the ancient wonder of Rhodes. Off the bat, you should know Rhodes is larger than all but 3 Greek islands, which means it more than behooves yourself to rent a car to properly see the island. ATVs won't cut it here, so save that for the Cyclads. When deciding on which town to stay, it really comes down to how much or how little action you want. Because I prefer walkability and life outside boutique shops, I chose Rhodes Town. Not Lindos, definitely not Faliraki. Though admittedly more jam-packed with tourists, Rhodes, specifically its medieval town, has a buzz I like. It's hard to explain if you haven't been to Greece before, but the old town feels different from other horas or main towns on other islands. Though I do prefer more of that typical Greek abandon and grime, it's delightful and adorable, with little streets and flowers, but yet not annoyingly polished, if that makes any sense at all. Mostly because there's cats. Lots of them. And everywhere. They seem to outnumber the Scandinavian tourists, and that says a lot. Much like a lot of other European cities, Old Town, the center of town, the oldest part of Rhodes, it's really cute, lined with shops, lined with cafes, tons of things you can buy for probably a price you shouldn't pay. It's extremely worth the walk. This would be the part where I tell you that there are many fine medieval and knight-related trinkets and merchandise you can purchase in this part of town. But no, I'd rather focus on that oh-so-popular, head-scratching souvenir you see in all Greek islands. As a gentleman of much class, I feel it necessary to measure up my competition and address this phallic ornament head first, so to speak. When in Greece, there's all shapes and sizes. Perhaps you're more of a short but girthy kind of person. Perhaps you're a long kind of person. Whatever you'd like. I got you. It is surprisingly easy to forget that not all Greek history is ancient. For all the glory days of Socrates and Plato, Athens and Sparta, there are centuries of less romantic, though still influential Roman, Byzantine, Venetian, and Ottoman times. The palace of the Grand Master of the Knights of Rhodes is an example of the spaces in between. Well after the Colossus of Rhodes and centuries before the modern nation of Greece. If you followed this show for any stretch of time, you'd probably already know that I am not a fan of museums. Not big into any building that attracts a large mass of foreigners wielding DSLRs. I'd probably rather take a cab and drive around the city in circles while the driver plays Maroon 5's entire discography. There are, however, exceptions. Places where you really kinda have to go at least once if you're in town. Since I'm staying about a 10-minute walk away, I'll get in touch with my inner Rick Steves. Seriously, I don't know why I signed up to do these scenes, and in reality, I'm just really not qualified. That's like having a mechanic work on your teeth. That's exactly what happened to me. But let's be real, I mean, how am I gonna make a video on this place without coming to this place? And by this place, I mean Rhodes, and by this place, I mean this palace. So, enjoy the B-roll. What I can tell you is that it's worth the tiny entrance fee of €6. If anything, to take some wanderlusty Instagram pictures. However, there are treasures scattered everywhere you look. Glimpses into Hellenistic and Roman mosaics and sculptures. Pottery dating back centuries, side by side with reminders of medieval times, when the Order of St. John housed the Grand Master himself and quietly commanded his men on a fortress built over the temple of the sun god Helios. Over time, it was captured by the Ottomans, who, as per usual, mistakenly blew structures up before switching over to Italian hands, including the likes of all-around likable guy Mussolini. Though one must thank Italy for its restoration, I'm grateful that this palace, Rhodes, and the rest of the Dodecanese were returned to its rightful nation, Greece. There's a reason why Rhodes isn't known for its beaches. Abnormally harsh and constant winds mean the eroded shores don't hold much of a candle to the rest of Greece. Faliraki is not the gold standard by any stretch, but it is where I'll be unwinding at the moment. Lindos is an hour-and-a-half drive from Rhodestown. It is the pedestrian boutique village you always picture on a Greek island. It also has a pretty decent beach, made even better by the ancient structure that overlooks it. It's July 4th today, and it has nothing to do with being patriotic, but rather to convey the message that it is blisteringly hot and walking on this sand feels like firewalking in Hawaii. Luckily, there are mojitos.
I have a thing, okay? Whenever I travel, when I go to just about any beach, I always get a mojito. You see, I'm a Miami guy. And I know the best mojitos will be in Miami. Makes sense. But I still do it. And I have no shame. I just enjoy the minty, limey Cubanness that comes with a proper mojito, even if it's not proper, even if it has brown sugar, which is just not the way to do it. Speak to me, love me, nurture me.
Perched 380 feet above Lindos is its imposing Acropolis. Fortified by layers of millennia worth of civilizations dating back to the 4th century BC. At the summit lies the mostly reconstructed remains of the Temple of Athena Lindia. Panoramically painted by the deep blue Hellenic sky, simply standing here amongst all this is ethereal. The wind howls as you overlook the mythic island from the eyes of gods, envisioning your own fabled odyssey, embraced by the wisdom of Athena. Nikos Kazantzakis once wrote, "Happy is the man, I thought, who, before dying, has the good fortune to sail the Aegean Sea." Maybe I'm not like Odysseus after all. To me, all these islands feel like home. If I were him, I'd have kept sailing. Through every mythic sea, the deep blue Greek waters around me, with an island like Rhodes in my tailwinds.